My name is Judy Ho, and I've been at Discovery for probably 5 years. I was born in Vietnam in a small town outside of Saigon. I do remember on occasion, sometimes I would hear bombing go off and, gunshots, even though where we live, we weren't like right in the middle of the war, although the Vietnam War was going on at the time. But I definitely did not know that there was a war. With the war going on at the time, I guess on April 30th, 1975, that was when the North Vietnamese took over the South. That was the time where it was a lot of chaos. I remember on that day, my dad came home from work and said, we need to get out of this country. My dad just packed us all up onto a Jeep and we drove out into some distant somewhere where we met up with some of his friends. And then we drove out to the fishing harbor, I guess, fishing area, where there was a lot of people, very chaotic, a lot of people trying to get on small fishing boats. At that time, we dropped everything and just got on the small little boat. My parents managed to get us kids up on the boat and my mom on the boat, and then the boat started to leave with my dad still standing on the shore. And fortunately, one of the men, I guess, one of the general that was on the boat fired a gunshot and made the boat turn back because he had some of his family was still there. So they turned back around, and that's when my dad was able to get on. We were in a small fishing boat with 10 or 20 people, and we headed out to sea. Not really know where we were going, just, leave, I guess, go. And so for a couple hours, and then we ended up transferring to a bigger boat. We kind of each walked in between other boats to get onto a little bit bigger size boat where there was about 100 people on there. And we started heading out to sea, and I was out to sea for like 4 days. So finally we ended up in the middle of the ocean at a docking station. I guess later somebody told me it was like a U.S. Navy docking station that was in the middle of the ocean, and that's where we ended up meeting with like thousands and thousands of other people that ended up on there and waiting for a U.S. Navy ship to pick us up. We got on there, and as we managed to get on there with some of my dad's friends, the boat wouldn't allow any more people to get on because it was already crowded. And so my parents and my sister ended up standing on the dock as the boat was leaving. I was scared. I was not knowing if I was ever going to see them again. And so when we got to, we landed, my brother went walking around trying to do some exploring, and a couple hours later he ran into my parents. He found them they ended up in the same place because a second boat came later, as we discovered, and they were able to get on that boat. I definitely see God's hand in it, and as to how we even got here to the United States and how he helped us in our journey, how he reunited us with our parents when we were lost. I got to go back to Vietnam after 33 years. My first time back, I went back with my mom and my grandmother, and it was an amazing experience just to be able to go back to where my hometown is, where I was born. And I do reflect, when I was there, I reflect on, gosh, how my life would definitely have been so different if I was still there. I mean, I know for a fact I wouldn't have the opportunities that I have if I hadn't left and my dad didn't take that leap, of faith on that day. I think when I started coming to Discovery, I was just, oh, I'm just going to be here. I'm just going to sit in my little corner and I'm just going to observe and, not really, I wasn't really going, moving. I felt as far as my belief, I wasn't really moving ahead. I think since I became a real strong believer about 2 years ago, after being more involved with, Discovery, I really try to instill in my children, always value what they have, always treasure what they have, and always try to respect other people and help other people as much as they can. And I always try to instill in them that, God is very important in their life. As I look on my journey, the one word that comes to mind is I am blessed.